Hello everyone and welcome to Battle of the Beast Reptile Rampage episode number 8. I'm Adam and today we got the 8th battle of round 1. This is the 8th battle of round 1. I didn't know what I was actually going to be doing here. We got 2 more beast fights out for a spot in round 2. It'll be the 8th spot in round 2. This is the midpoint of round 1. And so far, it's actually been a very good tournament so far. 7 battles. Some of which were a bit obvious, but still entertaining fights. And then others not as obvious, but also very good fights. Honestly, I don't think there's been a bad fight yet. If there is to be one, I can't see it being this one. Because with the battle that we have here, this is one where I think this is going to be a bit of a decisive matchup, really. Because I do not know who can win this one, really. So with that, let's introduce the competitors. Representing the group of specials, which are still on 5, because the only other special that competed so far has actually won their battle. But representing the group of specials, this beast is known to make it relatively far in the all-generation tournament. Did he actually make it far? Did she make it far, actually? She made it decently far, actually. She made it further than I thought she would. So, yeah, this beast made it decently far in the all-generation tournament. Not very far in the special generation tournament, but that's fine, it's fine. I am talking about Anoret, the first beast, versus her opponent. This is this beast's first ever tournament that this beast has taken part in. This beast may be a bit of a newcomer, but having a reputation, also being from the group of specials, we sort of know what to expect from him. Please give a warm welcome to Arkano, the Stone Crawler. So, Anoret vs Arkano, the first time the specials collide against each other. And these are quite good specials, actually. Okay, I don't mean good specials. Anoret, I still don't like you. But it's a case of, like, they have their flaws, but also their strengths. Because Arkano clearly has the speed advantage, but Anoret has something going for her. The pure muscle and bulk is one thing. But let's get a bit more information, and let's get to the stats. Anoret, the first beast. It is believed that this lizard-like creature was the very first to rampage through the kingdom of Avantia. Long ago, a warlord stole the beast's face and wore it as a mask. The Mask of Death, giving himself the power to control Anoret. Hundreds of years later, after this epic battle, Kenta the witch sought to use the mask to control not only the first beast, but 6 young and innocent beasts as well. Age 500 plus, power 296, magic level 195, frag factor 98, size 460. Powers and abilities: enhanced strength, enhanced durability, natural weaponry, beast control, even though we can't really use that one, and resurrection, which we also can't use. Weaknesses is loyalty to the Mask of Death. Arkano, the Stone Crawler. This beast does not have a bio of his own, so we just have the powers and abilities. Powers and abilities: natural weaponry, Arkano's sharp fangs, claws, and a slender tail. He uses to smack around prey. Multiple eyes, a burning aura. Arkano has a burning aura capable of burning up an arrow that makes contact with his skin. Wall scaling, a petrification breath. Arkano can breathe a smoke that encases any in stone if it makes contact with it. Enhanced strength and enhanced durability. Weaknesses: attacking the heart. If Arkano's heart is attacked, he will die, returning to a pile of stone bones. Okay, with the stats department out of the way, both of these beasts are going to be battling each other in the rocky terrain arena. You know, all reliable. And with that, let's get into this. As the chamber doors open, Arkano scuttles out of the arena and instantly starts crawling up onto the wall, turning his head to stare at the other end of the arena as Anoret bursts out and roars into the arena. The audience members are cheering Anoret's name, seeing a beast that they recognise. And as they look over to the other side of the arena, they see Arkano. where only a few people are actually cheering for Arkano. Because they don't really know, most of the spectators don't even know what they're looking at. But Arkano hisses towards Anoret. Anoret acts insulted by this before charging up towards Arkano and going to slash down onto Arkano as Arkano scuttles along the wall as Anoret smashes herself into the wall. Anoret, in aggression, charges up towards Arkano again to slice at Anoret, but Arkano uses his tail and slashes away Anoret's claws. Anoret then lashes out her tail towards Arkano, wraps it around Arkano's body, and pulls him away from the wall and smashes him into the ground into the center of the arena. As Arkano regains himself, he stares at Anoret with his multiple eyes as Anoret prowls around the arena, staring down Arkano, ready to pounce. As Anoret goes to pounce, Arkano turns around to see Anoret pouncing and breathes out his petrification breath. Anoret instantly turns to stone into this, and as the breath clears off, Anoret is now the one prowling around Anoret. No, Arkano is now the one prowling around Anoret. The spectators are in shock at this, seeing that Anoret has turned to stone. The battle ended so quickly. And as Arkano's staring at the statue, thinking about how to take care of it, he sees that the statue shakes for a bit, and shakes, and then Anoret bursts out of the statue, roaring into the arena again. The audience members are still cheering for Anoret, seeing that Anoret can break through the stony prison. Arkano, not surprised by this at all, charges up towards Anoret and jumps onto her back and lifts up his claws and stabs them right in between Anoret's scales, right into the shoulder blades. Anoret roars in pain over this and just rolls onto her back, crushing Arkano against her own weight. At this point, Arkano ignites his flame aura, and Anoret instantly feels burning coming from her back, in which she screeches in pain, gets up, and sees that Arkano has burnt a mark onto Anoret's back, as well as blood dripping from her shoulder blades. As Arkano gets up, the audience members see where Arkano was. Burnt scorch mark of Arkano's body, just pressed up against the ground. Anoret stares at this beast with such confusing abilities, but Anoret is not phased whatsoever. Seeing that she has the physical advantage, Anoret is confident she can take care of this beast. Anoret charges up towards Arkano again. Arkano lifts up his upper body to try and appear taller to deter Anoret. Anoret doesn't seem unfazed at all and just stands on her hind legs to slash at Arkano. Arkano laughs, knowing this is what he wanted. He curls his tail, leans back onto his tail to dodge the claws that was about to decapitate him straight away, just how big Anoret's claws are. As he falls back onto his hind legs, Anoret angles his claws and stabs it into Anoret's neck. Anoret gasps in breath over this as she quickly retreats herself away, seeing that Arkano is not as fragile as he looks. Seeing that Arkano is not as fragile as he looks, Arkano then prowls up towards Anoret, blinking each of his eyes one by one. Anoret, feeling a bit confused and repulsed by this, roars at Arkano, warning him to stay back. Arkano then backs away, bows down towards Anoret, before looking back up at her and shooting his petrification breath at Anoret. Anoret instantly is encased in stone again, and Arkano climbs onto Anoret's body before igniting his flame aura again, and this time just lying on top of Anoret. Anoret feels the heat inside of her stony prison, realizing that Arkano is literally cooking Anoret inside of the statue of herself. Anoret is trying to break free from the stony prison, but Arkano's not allowing it. He's still encasing Anoret in this stony breath. Eventually, Anoret finds that extra strength of energy that she needs before she bursts free from the prison, instantly scorched by the flame aura from Arkano being on top of her. Knocks Arkano aside. Arkano rolls across the ground and gets back up to see Anoret burning, just scorched all over, but staring right at Anoret, still bleeding, but staring down Arkano, still bleeding, but still very much alive. Arkano lifts up his front claws and clashes them together, almost like he's clapping, as a way of saying, "Well done. At least you're not a disappointing legendary first beast, are you?" Anoret seems insulted by Arkano's mocking nature and charges up towards him. Arkano immediately lashes out his tail, wraps it around one of Anoret's front legs, and pulls it down from beneath her, causing Anoret to fall to the side. Arkano then lifts up one of his claws and stabs it into the back of Anoret's neck, before stabbing Anoret's claw that's right next to him. Anoret roars in pain over this before Arkano bites down into the back of Anoret's neck and pulls her head up before Arkano lifts up his claw, stabs it through the underside of Anoret's neck, and then stares into her eyes as he says, "You are a worthy first battle for me. But ultimately though, whilst for the oldest beast, you're really lacking common sense in battle. I was able to predict every single one of your moves, and you couldn't find a counter to any of them." As Anoret lifts up her claw to attack Arkano, as Arkano's given his monologue, Arkano lifts up one of his other claws and stabs right through that claw, right through her paw. Arkano then says, "My point has just been proven," before he releases another petrification breath on Anoret, quickly retracting his claws. As Anoret falls to stone again, Arkano then takes a step back and just watches as the gaps in the stone for that Anoret has already made, cracks, is starting to seep blood through it from the wounds that Anoret has sustained. As Anoret bursts free from it, blood is all over Anoret. And Arkano sees that as his opportunity. Seeing that Anoret's a bit discombobulated at the moment, Arkano charges up towards Anoret, slices at each of her claws, at the tail, slicing right through it with his claws, causing Anoret's tail to fall clean off. He jumps onto Anoret, ignites his flame aura, and is burning right through Anoret. And then, using his front claws, he stabs him right into Anoret's back. With the flame aura still on, he's burning Anoret's insides as Anoret's screaming in pain. But Arkano keeps going. He licks his lips, salivating. He licks his lips, which are salivating at the moment, enjoying the pain and misery that Anoret is going in. The legend of this beast is being mocked by this beast, which no one knew about until his debut battle, which was today. As Anoret eventually collapses from the severe amount of pain and torture she's endured, Arkano finally stops with his relentless assault and makes his way back to his chamber as if nothing ever happened. So with that, Arkano has won, Anoret has lost. If you think Anoret should have won, please comment below. I think that how my words final and Arkano's moving on to the next round. Being honest, I see how Anoret could have won, and I know I got confused a few times with who's who, because they both sound very similar. The only reason why I gave Arkano the victory is because I feel there's quite a lot of potential with him when it comes to later battles, and I can simply see Arkano being more cunning than Anoret is. Anoret yes, is the most oldest beast of them all. Technically should be the most experienced of them all, most cunning. But I feel like she's one of those beasts which can have her anger take over her brains. So then she'll go more muscle than strength, than intelligence. And that is where that's what Arkano exploited. Arkano made Anoret mad, causing her to not really think about her actions, and that's what Arkano used to his advantage, causing his victory and her death. So join me in the next video where we'll be going with battle number 9 of the Reptile Rampage tournament. But right now we're at the halfway point of the tournament. What do you think of the lineup for round 2? Because in my opinion, there are some beasts which are surprising that made it here, but they all gave really good battles in my opinion. And so far, this is one of the best tournaments so far. I wonder if I can keep this consistency going. But with a short tournament like this one is, I'm hoping I can. But anyway, with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, definitely subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.